Welcome, Linscott family. Let me begin by telling you this speech will be quite long. However, the roster of students spoken of in this speech are in alphabetical order by last name. We're going to timestamp their names into the video, so if you'd like to fast forward to your own child or to yourself, if you're a student, a graduate, feel free to do that. That's one of the conveniences of a pre-recorded speech. Of course, recording this at my home, sheltering in place, just like you. All right, here we go. First to the parents, guardians, and grandparents, thank you for loaning me your kids for the last how many years. I really do have the best job in the world. I get to meet most of these kids when they are 4 or 5 years old, and I get to watch them mature, sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly, into fully fledged, well-rounded human beings. For my part, I try to carry a message to your kids. That message is take risks, be brave, always choose love, be kind. You mostly regret the things you don't do, not the things you do. There is no try, do, or do not, Yoda. And be there for each other. I have seen my message put into everyday practice by your children. I now have the honor and privilege of briefly addressing each of your kids as my students for the last time. Jolly Green, Nathan, it has been a pleasure to watch you grow up. You have navigated adolescence quite well, suiting up, showing up, and standing up. I know you to be both sensitive and stoic. I have seen that you are able to pause and respond rather than react. This is an adult-level skill that many people never learn, let alone learn at such a young age. Your athleticism comes from hard work, and that hard work shows in your performance. You are a courageous and kind person. I remember when you came to me to confess your part for something that had occurred on the field. You showed great courage and looked me in the eye and stood up and took responsibility for what had occurred. It was a small and, in the grand scheme of things, trivial transgression, but you knew I was angry about it. That did not stop you from stepping up. I was and am still proud of you for that. You are a young man who is full of goodness, a kind, loving, caring, and protective brother. I'll miss you as the gentle giant, lovingly walking your little brother to class through the hall at Linscott. Stay true to yourself. Always choose kindness, bravery, and love. Jordan, you are a really nice kid. You are also an accomplished athlete. I have always enjoyed you in class. I know you to be honest and kind and caring. I also know that you are sensitive to others and that you have big and deep feelings. These are admirable qualities in a young man, all good things that I believe will carry forward throughout your life. You have had lots of practice choosing kindness and generosity towards others, as you are a big brother, and that is a necessary component of being a good big brother. Other things I know to be true about you: you practice good sportsmanship, you are an excellent teammate, you are fair, you give 100% of yourself to the game, putting the team above personal glory, and that you know, even though referees are imperfect and no one can make a perfect call every time, that you are always ready to move on and keep the game going. All these things I have witnessed in you, and all these things are deeply appreciated. I will miss you, Jordan. Enjoy high school and your life beyond the next 4 years. Dream big and achieve. Johnny Ann. Johnny Ann, you are the kind of kid the coach puts in when all hell is breaking loose or things are past the point of no return. You have that internal confidence and life experience that when things are tough, seemingly insurmountable, that you will rise up and be successful. Occasionally, you might need to be convinced or nudged, but I have watched you time and time again step into the abyss and deliver. Some say that faith is a body of evidence born of experience. I have faith in you, faith that tells me that you have what it takes to continue to work hard and push yourself, continue to be the best possible version of yourself, to accomplish, achieve, and celebrate a big life. You know already what it is to work hard for something, to practice and to train, to rise up. Continue to expect great things of yourself and do not shy away from the effort it takes to get there. I have always enjoyed you in class. I will miss you. Santi, you are the middle child sandwiched between two brothers. I guess that makes you the meat, the muscle, the heart. Yes, the heart. That is you, all heart. As you know, Santi, you are not the tallest kid in your class. No matter. You cast a shadow larger than most. You have the ability to make those of us around you feel 10 feet tall. That is what pride feels like. And that is what I feel towards you when I see you push yourself to go beyond what perhaps you thought you were incapable of. This last year, while we have had the Tower of Power available to us, I have witnessed you take it upon yourself to become stronger, more fit, more powerful, more capable, and more confident. The other day I saw a post you made in the virtual PE classroom that you knocked out 50 push-ups, 50 sit-ups, 50 squats, and 50 calf raises. Yes, I read every comment. Outstanding. Santi, you have found the key. You know what it feels like to train your mind and body to do more, be more, and go beyond what was yesterday's best. For years, I had a poster on the wall at my house. It said, "Know your limitations and shatter them." This is what I see in you, a young man who has the will and determination to go beyond expectation. Today, your brothers, your mom, your dad, and I are all 10 feet tall because of our pride in you. Push, rise up, work hard, and continue to achieve. Sebastian. Sebastian, you love music and dance. I wish to encourage you to get back to dancing. I know that you really enjoy it, and you are quite talented in this arena. It might surprise you to know that when I was a kid, I wanted to be a professional dancer. I followed a different path, but I still dance for maybe an hour every night, and it is still one of the most enjoyable parts of my day. One thing that any decent PE teacher does is to make their best attempt to instill a lifelong love of movement in their students. You are a young man of few words, in my experience. You might be quite talkative with others, but with me you are very quiet, so it is not always obvious whether or not you are enjoying PE. Regardless, I hope that you pursue dance, and that you find ahead of you many ways to enjoy movement and physical activities, and that you make the connections between your body and exertion. This connection comes at different times for all of us, but it is to me so important and so incredibly rewarding. Through dance, through pushing our bodies towards and beyond perceived limitations, we are rewarded with not only powerful and enjoyable feelings, but a chance at improved health and a long and happy life. I want this for you, Sebastian. So I say to you, dance like no one is watching, or, if you prefer, dance like everybody is watching. But dance, and then dance some more. Reap the rewards and enjoy your life. Johnny Rocket. Wow, what a dedicated young man you have become. You have always followed your dream of becoming a professional athlete, and I don't believe you will let anything stop you. I've witnessed you grow, as in you keep getting taller, but also I've seen the growth in your maturity, your compassion, and your ability to stay calm in situations that at perhaps one time you might have reacted differently. I know that you have figured out that your body responds to hard work, training, and practice. I believe you know what it is to both earn and give respect. I'm counting on you to remember that not everyone has your talent, but that you have the ability to help other athletes to achieve their goals through your example of hard work and perseverance. I'm very happy that you were able to be a part of the Lynn Scott family, and that you can take the love and acceptance that you were shown here out into the world. Haley, you are a wellspring of love, compassion, and joy. I wonder if those who have not had the privilege to experience your presence would ever guess what a fierce competitor lives behind that flash of a smile. I have called upon you many times on the field of battle to enter the pit of doom, to be a berserker and to take down the remaining warriors during a blood and guts and veins between the teeth competition level of game of pit tag. You are both the warrior and the loyal friend, the competitor, performer, and quiet observer. You stand ready to be called upon as well as volunteering for the most challenging of tasks. I admire all of these things in you. I know that you have the good fortune to have a loving family that has taught you to celebrate and express your cultural roots and your bold spirit. You have worked hard for your dreams and aspirations, and I know that you will continue to celebrate and enjoy life to the fullest. Excuse me. Miles, or as I like to call him, the Mountain. One of the many things I appreciate and recognize in you, Miles, is your childlike awe and wonder. Your body has outpaced most of your classmates. You have gotten big and strong, perhaps more quickly than you were ready for, but you have handled this phenomenon well. I look at your open face, your smile, and expression of love, kindness, that exemplifies who you are at a core level, a kind, caring, empathetic young soul, accepting of others, ready to put out your hand to help, to accept the challenge, to rise to the occasion, to sacrifice, to be bold, available, ready, and equal to the task. I asked you to climb the rope. You didn't know that you could, but you did it successfully. I told you to do a double release on the monkey bars, and you said you didn't know what that was. But when I explained it to you, you did it successfully. I asked you to attempt a double release and skip a bar, and that only a handful of kids throughout my career as a physical education teacher had ever been able to do that. So you did it successfully. You bring it all, Miles, from your brotherly love to your humor, from your willingness to go beyond what you might think you were capable of, to what I can only describe as a childlike innocence that you have always possessed and consistently displayed and shared with the rest of us. Thank you for your genuineness, Miles. It will always serve you. I love you. I am proud of you. I will miss you. There's a lot of crows in my yard, if you can hear that. Bunny. There are two bunnies in this class. This is Bunny 1, Bella. Bella, such a wonderful kid. Hardworking, compassionate, caring, and funny. It's been such a pleasure to watch you grow up and to be able to interact with your family, your folks, siblings, cousins, aunts. Well, you get the idea. You've gotten to grow up in the Lynn Scott community, the Lynn Scott family, as my own children did, in many ways as I have. Bella, there are few mornings that have gone by over the years that we haven't checked in with each other. You have always greeted me with a smile, a hug, an occasional tear, but always with a genuine, real, and deep conversation, no matter how lengthy or how brief. Always real, meaningful, and from your beautiful heart. With Bella, what you see is what you get. An open heart and a caring soul. A loving daughter, sister, and friend to whom family is everything. Thank you for all you have shared with me, Bunny. I love you. I will miss you. I am always proud of you. Crows are thugs, huh? You know what you call a whole bunch of crows? A murder. That's what they call them. You know what you call two crows? An attempted murder. They're chasing a hawk. That's what they do. All right, next kid. Happy, happy, joy, joy. I could be wrong, but I think you got your nickname, if not the first day you showed up, at least within the first week. I remember you were having kind of an Eeyore day, and the song from the Ren and Stimpy show popped into my head, and it stuck. Of course, that was just a moment in time. You are nothing like Eeyore. But regardless, I like the nickname and refuse to stop calling you Happy, Happy, Joy, Joy. You are a great kid, and you and your family have become cherished members of the Linscott family. Emily, you are truly a joy in my eyes. I love seeing you light up on the field, especially on the rare occasion when we would play some type of baseball or kickball game. And your team spirit would show through as you spontaneously broke into a rally cry you had learned at a different time, but perhaps on the same field. You have the ability, and more importantly, to use that ability to inspire those around you. You don't settle for second best. You demand the most from yourself, and you demand that from your teammates as well. The great thing about that is you are successful in inspiring others because you walk your talk. You lead by example, and that is what all teachers want to see from their students. So thank you, Emily, for how you carry yourself, how you give it everything you have got, not only inspiring those around you, but also for holding those around you to the highest of standards. You have a champion mentality, and you back up that mindset with deeds and actions. I will miss you and your fierceness, your commanding presence, and the compassionate care you give to others. You are a good and loyal friend to your classmates, a caring sister, a loving daughter, a marvelous granddaughter. Thank you for the salsa, Grandma. And an exceptional student. You are kind, and your care for those around you is obvious and honorable. Dream big and stay true to yourself. Fire plug! Andres. You gotta love this kid, I know I do. So one Wednesday, like many other Wednesdays, I'm walking this class to the youth center, and as we are traveling along the sidewalk, Andres, not looking where he is going, walks right into a fire hydrant and kind of ends up getting hung halfway upside down on one of the removable caps on the hydrant. I've always called a hydrant a fire plug, and so a nickname was born of the experience. This happened early on in Andres' experience at Linscott. To be honest, I'm not sure I even knew his name was Andres at that point. I have only ever called him Fireplug, and when I have heard kids call him by his given name, I have had to pause and ask myself or one of the other kids who they're talking about or who they're talking to. Then I'm like, oh, Fireplug. Anyway, this is a kid with big feelings, but also a kid who knows how to manage those feelings, to experience them and let them pass. Not a kid who is driven to act on every passing emotion. No, Fireplug has a certain kind of maturity that is hard-won and comes from experience. Wise, intelligent, calm, confident, extraordinarily likable, a talented athlete, a witty conversationalist, practical, pragmatic, and personable. Fireplug is as real as they get. Honest and fair, realistic, and not afraid to call it as he sees it. I admire your courage, your tenacity, and your unflinching spirit. It has been a pleasure to be your teacher, and I will always be grateful that you came to be a part of the Linscott family. You are good and true, and I love you. Let nothing stop you from believing in yourself. Let nothing stop you from achieving your dreams. Let nothing stop your dreams from being the biggest and best dreams that can be. I will miss calling out to you, Fireplug, and always getting that cherished response. Yes, Mark? Yamila! I've always joked around with Yamila, telling stories about the made-up TV show on Telemundo called Yamila. Excuse me. I guess I've always seen Yamila as a very interesting kid that ought to have her own TV show that was just all about her and her day-to-day life experiences. Yamila, you are kind yet fearless. You are funny and smart. You are strong and fast and confident. You have an indomitable spirit. Whether during a game or walking through the hall or out and about in town at a grocery store, you have always, without fail, stopped, taken time to speak with me, to be a real person, giving your undivided attention, expressing yourself with confidence and care, with a rare ability to let people see that you are completely and utterly sincere and brave. While thinking of you and writing these words, the phrase, "a heart of gold," entered my mind, but it just wasn't right. It wasn't nearly good enough to capture who you are. So maybe these words might come a little closer. Yamila has a heart where love pours out like the water that flows from Las Cataratas del Iguazu. If you have ever been there, I have. It is a system of 275 waterfalls that come together. So that's a lot of water, and that's a lot of love. Anyway, if you know Yamila's family, you know that love is the river that courses through their lives. I will miss you, Yamila. I will miss sending you into the pit to be a berserker. I will miss calling out, "Yamila!" and hearing you answer back, "Yamila." You have always given me your best, Yamila. That is just who you are and how you bring it. I love you and I will miss you. Iliana. Iliana, it has been a pleasure watching you grow into your confident and competent, assured self. Your athleticism has blossomed as a direct result of your hard work and practice. You may not know this, but I have been acutely aware that during the PE classes, where there have been multiple activities and options to choose from, you consistently choose basketball. Your enthusiasm towards this sport has not gone unnoticed by me, nor has your confidence, competence, improved skills, and shot-making percentage. You have become quite the basketball player. This enthusiasm is shared and supported by your wonderful family, right up to your father volunteering as the Linscott after-school basketball coach. Awesome. We seem to always be inundated with family awesomeness at Linscott. Iliana, it is your day, but a quick shout out to little brother Diego, who I'm sure in part is who he is because of his family, and that includes your influence and care and compassion as a big sister. But back to your accomplishments, your massive gains as a basketball player, and the fact that you are moving on to high school. Know that you are a marvelous person, that you have the support of a loving family, and that everything about you, inside and out, is beautiful, wonderful, and amazing. I will miss you. Greased Lightning! Alina. I know I don't call you that very often anymore, but I used to when you were little. Alina, strong, fierce, a rebel in her own right. Alina, I have really enjoyed watching you grow up and become a fierce and vital warrior at Linscott. You have learned self-sufficiency, inner strength, resiliency, perseverance, and how to carry yourself with your head up and your shoulders back. I admire you, and I relate to you. I've never known you to ask for help, or for that matter, to accept help. Two things that took me a very long time to learn how to do. You are strong and confident. You keep your cards close to the vest, but you have never been able to stop me from seeing your beautiful, tender heart. I see that love your family bears you, an unbreakable bond. It is a blessing to have such hard-working parents who know who you are and believe in you, and know that you will continue to always rise to the highest level of your remarkable and limitless capabilities. Something I learned along the way is that everything or anything that presents as a problem or an obstacle, once surmounted, becomes an asset every time, always, and forever. You have shown me that you know how to be true to yourself, to rise above, to choose happiness, which is what you deserve, happiness. You are a wonderfully enjoyable, free-spirited person. I will miss you more than you could know, but it is time for you to share your confident smile and lend your effervescence to the world beyond Linscott. Thank you for being such a cool kid to have in class and in my world. I love you. Valeria, Valeria. That's her nickname. Valeria, you are a beacon of strength, a veritable tower of power, a warrior, a diplomat, and a champion. Throughout your Linscott experience, I have heaped mountains of responsibility upon your shoulders, and you have repeatedly and successfully carried the weight, rising to every occasion with tenacity, assurance, grace, and composure. You are the hammered steel of the samurai sword, forged in the midst of middle school competition, the Solomon or Shulamite of referees, fair and just, firm and forthright, a natural leader of great prowess. Prowess is defined in the dictionary as bravery in battle. Sometimes when I'm writing these speeches, which are my truth and from the heart, I remember that it is really only you kids, not your parents, who are experienced veterans and champions of the great wars and epic battles that have been waged out on the fields during PE. That's okay. You know. Valeria, throughout your life, people will be drawn to you as they are now. Remember that while your heart is open, you must continue to keep your eyes open as well. Never give up your power of choice or decision to another person. Continue to make your own choices and your own decisions. I believe that you are already aware that you are the author of your own story, and that it is you who must write yourself in as the heroine of your life journey. I feel blessed to have gotten to have you as my student. Let's say that again, because I do. I feel blessed to have gotten to have you as my student. I will miss your valor on the battlefields. Avery. Avery, you have always impressed me on a daily basis since the first day you became a part of Linscott. You jumped into the mix right away, throwing your hat in the ring, running for school president. You were not elected, but you were courageous and handled that defeat with grace and dignity. You are what I call a walk-on warrior. You were new to the school, and yet you immediately took risks, putting yourself out there, full speed ahead, jumping right into the raging waters. I've seen you walk across the blacktop singing in full voice, break out in spontaneous dance whether people are present or no one is there. I've watched you teach a dance without self-consciousness, trepidation, or any fear. Your confidence is contagious, as is your blatant, heroic bravery. You came to us later. We didn't get the chance to have you here as part of the tribe for very long, and that, of course, has its own challenges. You have taken these challenges in stride, rising up to earn your place in the tribe with an indomitable spirit, an innate sense of duty, and a unique, resolute sense of humor. I am grateful that I got to have you as my student, however briefly. I have great confidence in you and great expectations of you. I know you will continue to rise up, to adapt, and overcome, to succeed. I will simply take this opportunity to remind you to enjoy yourself along the way, to remember what you already know, that happiness is always a choice, not a product of circumstance, but simply an internal, personal choice. Love and joy to you, Avery George. Yo sway! Joshy, I love you. We've bumped heads along the way. This is as it should be. Kids, young people are built to push the boundaries, the envelope, and teachers are here to push back. This is one of the ways we all grow and mature. I've known you since you were a little boy, and you have always had that wonderful smile that says, no matter what, you are gonna love me. You have a great deal of confidence and swagger, and perhaps spending upwards of 30 minutes a day detailing your hairstyle has something to do with that. As I have told you many times, Joshy, you have what it takes to lead. Just keep in mind which direction you are leading those who follow. It is a big responsibility as well as an honor, and if you stay true to your oversized heart, you will take people farther than they ever thought they could go. Dream big, but do the footwork required. Recognize the people who are in your corner, your family, your teachers, and coaches. Choose your friends wisely. Take care of that great hair and your killer smile. I will, of course, miss you, but I am forever grateful to have had these years to spend with you. Miss Lily. Miss Lily, years ago you took a shot to the face in class. I think it was a softball, if I remember correctly, and as anyone knows who plays, those are not soft. You had the biggest, baddest black eye I have ever seen. It shook me. I felt so bad, and it took quite some time to heal and disappear. Every time you walked by, I apologized, and every time you said, "It's okay, Mark." You were so patient, but eventually you got tired of me telling you that I was sorry, and I got the message. What I learned from that is 1, you are tough. 2, you are kind. 3, kids get over things much more quickly than adults do when it is about the kid. We hold on, and the kids let go. What a lesson. Thank you, Lily, for being who you are. Kind, funny, tough, smart, strong, capable, confident, and always ready and willing to give 100%. I will miss our conversations, the updates on Colt, your good nature and quick-witted sense of humor, but I will never worry about you. There is no need to. Christina. Christina, you are such a kind and caring person. You carry yourself with poise and elegance, which speaks to your character. I don't think I would be alone in describing you as an old soul. That is a compliment, by the way. Here is one definition of an old soul: a spiritual person, wise beyond their years, exhibiting strong emotional stability, having a greater understanding of the world around them than others their age. So I feel that this is an accurate but far from complete assessment or description of who you are to me. So let me round out the picture. You are courageous and brave, calm and compassionate, smart and friendly, unafraid, undaunted. Yes, undaunted. What does that mean? I'm glad you asked. I looked it up for you. Undaunted, not intimidated or discouraged by difficulty, danger, or disappointment. Courageously resolute, especially in the face of danger or difficulty, determined and enthusiastic, unshaken in purpose, intrepid. Intrepid, don't know that one? That's okay, I looked it up too. Intrepid, valiant, unshrinking, unflinching, lion-hearted, fearless. All right, I don't want anyone to get the idea that you live with imminent danger. Of course, my comments must be applied to the world in which I encounter you, Lynn Scott, but more specifically a PE class, where there is competition, acts of heroism, battle, war, and camaraderie. In these contexts, my description of you, Christina, is, in my opinion, wholly accurate. I will miss you. Keep blazing your own trail through life, confident and happy. Danny boy! Danny, I will certainly miss our chats that we have had so many of, walking to and from the high school in the mornings. You are a genuinely kind and caring person. You never wait to be asked to take care of business. You just see what needs to be done, and you do it. Thank you for all of the many times you have taken it upon yourself to make sure that all the equipment is gathered up, the field clear, the cart organized, and for piloting the cart back to Lynn Scott. Do you know what topics came up the most during our walks and chats? I do. Family and how you were feeling. You have a great love for your family, and I know that everyone in your family loves you. I have witnessed you over the years stay true to who you are, never losing your sweet, kind, and generous nature. The world needs more kindness, and you have so much in you to share. It is obvious to me that anyone that you encounter is better off just from coming into contact with you. It takes courage and strength to be kind and loving, a kind and loving person in a world that can often present as cruel, harsh, and unfair. You have that strength and courage inside you, and you show it every day with your warm-hearted acts of service and your compassionate attitude. Thank you, Danny. You have always and continue to consistently exemplify what it is to be of maximum service to your fellows, kind, humble, caring, hardworking, with an open heart and selfless motives. I will miss you, Danny. I love you. Here comes an airplane. I'm going to talk louder. Amazon Warrior, Natalia. If I could give Natalia a t-shirt, it would probably say something like, "What you see is what you get." Here is what I see. Confidence, joy, happiness, fearlessness, exuberance, playfulness, athleticism, kindness, willingness, openness, mischievousness. Natalia, you are simply a joy to be around and have in class. You have never let me down in any encounter, from a simple, forthright conversation to your warrior-like attitude on the field. I have and can always count on you, and you have risen to meet every challenge. You are one of those kids whose joy and playfulness just rubs off on those around you. You don't even have to say anything for this to occur. It just radiates from you like the warmth one feels when the sun shines down and warms you up. You are the bonfire at the beach, the sun that burns away the fog on what would have been a dreary day, the candle in the wind. I will miss your bright, warm self. I know you will continue to be that flame of carefree joy throughout your life. Pinta! Sophia. Pinta, I stole that nickname from your pop, as you know. Sophia, you and your family are such wonderful and welcome members of the family Linscott. You are wise beyond your years, nearly always getting my antiquated movie quotes, holy grail references, and corny dad jokes. You have your own style in life, and you are brave enough to be true to yourself, which is a quality that not everyone possesses. That trait is reserved for those who are tasked to be the voice of reason in the most unreasonable situations. It is the hallmark of the true leader, not the show-off or the class clown, nor the blowhard, but the humble emissary, the intrepid captain, the audacious helmswoman mapping her own course, navigating by her own chosen stars towards her own particular desideratum. Desideratum. Google it. Desideratum. Look it up. Pinta, I know you to be deep, thoughtful, kind, and caring, loyal and protective, fierce when you need to be, and able to request a moment when a moment of self-care is appropriate. There are many qualities of these are the many qualities of a well-balanced person. A person who is both confident yet humble, able not only to make a joke, but also to take a joke and laugh at themselves. A person of great intelligence who is also teachable. A person of great sincerity, still able to be silly. This is Pinta. I leave you with this. May the force be with you, and never let anyone shake your arm to see if it is actually broken. I love you, and I will miss you. Kung Pao Panda. Paola. Oh my goodness, Kung Pao, I'm not sure if I've ever seen you without a smile on your face. You are a delightful person, full of light and happiness. As a physical education teacher, my eye is trained through the years of experience to understand how people move and use their bodies. Kung Pao, you move with flowing grace. I'm not sure that you really walk or run. You actually seem to glide effortlessly when evading those who give chase. You navigate the labyrinth of attackers like a ballerina or a Shaolin monk on wires in a really good kung fu movie. I hope that you go out for track in high school. You will find great challenges and great rewards there. I will miss your beautiful smile and your fun, playful sense of humor. I will never, for the rest of my life, be able to listen to this and not think of you. Oh, 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 everybody was kung fu fighting. That's your song, Paola. I love you. I will miss you. Aaliyah, fierce warrior, is, I believe, what I started calling you way back when you were little, kicking butt and taking no prisoners in the most competitive of games. Over the years, I've seen you become perhaps a bit more cautious, a little bit easier to startle on the field, yet still strong, resilient, and incredibly fun to be around. One thing I know is you don't have a mean bone in your body. For some reason, you and I seem to cross paths in the hallway at Linscott really often. It is always a pleasure. You always greet me with such sincerity and kindness, and you always show me the most genuine care and concern when asking me how I am doing or what I am up to. You are kind and real with no pretense. That means you don't pretend to like people. You actually like people. And you show that through your thoughtful questions, your compassionate actions, and your reassuring smile. I know you'll have great success in your life. You have some wonderful role models. You are surrounded by a family with the strongest of work ethics. I want you to have lots of fun in high school while you are being your hard-working, responsible self. I hope you join the clubs and get into sports, choir, or drama. Enjoy yourself in high school. That's the responsible thing to do. I love you, kid. Christopher, although in the 22 years that I've been a physical education teacher, I've witnessed some broken arms and bloody noses, you are to date the only kid that truly scared me. For a long time, we had 3 big tractor tires on our little Linscott field. They are gone now, and I've replaced them with a jump box. But back when you, Christopher, were in 2nd or maybe 3rd grade, we were practicing jumping with 2 feet up on the tires across from tire to tire. Anyway, you, Christopher, were making the last jump and your feet went out from under you. The result was you landing on your face and head with your body tumbling over the top. It was a moment I have not forgotten, as I thought you might have really gotten hurt. But thankfully, you popped up on your feet, ready to get back on the horse. I needed a minute, much more than you did. Anyway, Chris, since you survived, we have had lots of laughs together over the years. You are generally pretty quiet, but you are also really smart and terribly witty and funny. I appreciate your humor, your quips and jokes, and also this last year especially, since we have acquired the Tower of Power, you have really worked hard at getting stronger and physically fit. You have taken the time and opportunity to ask me what you can do to get strong. I know as time goes by, your repertoire of jokes will grow. You will always be funny and smart and extremely likable. I know, too, that if you continue to work hard physically, as you have shown me this last year, you can be as strong and as fit as you desire. Let nothing stop you. Angel, or Corazón del León. Angel, people say that nothing is impossible, but I believe it is impossible not to love this kid. Angel, when you arrived at Linscott, you had the energy of a tornado. You wanted to play every game and with everyone, and at the time, even though you spoke very little English, you had no problem communicating. All you had to do was smile and run out on the field, and the rest of the kids trailed after you, ready to play. While thinking of what to say about you in this commencement speech, I came up with 2 lists. List 1, things I have seen you do every day in a PE class. And list 2, things I have never seen you do ever in a PE class. List 1, things you do in every PE class. You always play your hardest. You always play fairly. You always leave everything you've got on the field. You always lead with your heart. You always go out of your way to make sure everyone is included. You always help those up who have been knocked down. You always encourage those who need encouragement. You always put the game ahead of needing to be right. You always settle up a conflict by putting your hand out in reconciliation. You always leave the field drenched in sweat. You always have a kind word and a smile for the injured. You always make me proud. List 2, things I have never seen you do in a PE class. I have never seen you be cruel or unkind. I have never seen you be a poor sport. I have never seen you walk by an injured kid without helping them up, putting a hand on their shoulder or your arm around them and asking if they are okay. I have never seen you cheat. I have never seen you treat someone unfairly. I have never seen you give anything other than 100%. I have never seen you let a disagreement go unresolved by the end of class. I have never seen you leave someone out or let anyone feel left out. Angel, you came to Linscott, and what a blessing for you and for all of us. I love you. Well, who doesn't? It is, quite frankly, impossible not to. Young Mr. Owen! Ah, young Mr. Owen, you have worked diligently to remain a man of mystery. You defy the stereotype of the wild, red-headed boy. You have mastered the art of blending in when it suits you, even to the point of being nearly invisible, say in a game of two-way, where at one moment you are in your own territory, and somehow moments later you are in the enemy's free zone, and then, as if teleported, back in your own territory with the ball. This skill has and may continue to serve you well. Being that you are mysterious, I will bring to light some of the many things I know about you. You are a man of many talents. You are a dog whisperer. You are an accomplished baker. Recently, you have gone from being a riding lawnmower pilot to a full-size farm tractor jockey. You are a skilled fisherman and a bit of a world traveler, surfing both cold and tropical waters. A couple of things that you and I have in common is that we are both avid backcountry campers and experienced drone pilots. You may be currently asking yourself, how does Mark, the guy who is simply my PE teacher, know these well-hidden interests, skills, and personal accomplishments? The answer is because you, a young red-headed man of mystery, are a well-loved, important member of the Linscott family. And yes, that family includes your little sister, Tiny Dancer, your wonderful mom, Teacher Michelle, and your padre, young Mr. Chris McDougall. And when you care about someone, you get to know who that person is. You have done well for yourself in the world and here at Linscott, young Mr. Owen. I have total confidence that you will continue to do so now that you have completed running the Linscott gauntlet. Just keep in mind, I know what you're up to. Blondie Bunny Bonebreaker Nora. Bunny 2. Here is a kid that I have teased possibly more than any other. And Nora, you have been a good sport throughout it all. I've gotten to watch you grow up from the beginning of your life, right up to this moment. Blondie Bunny Bonebreaker, you are sweet and tough, funny and feisty, ferocious and forgiving, a loyal friend, a loving daughter, the baby sister, and now a graduate of Linscott, the place where you have found friends who have become family, the place where teachers have become like aunts, uncles, classmates who are like brothers and sisters. While it is bittersweet to leave such a safe and loving environment, how lucky are you to have this tribe with you in your heart wherever you go and for all of your life. We are all just a phone call, a text, a car ride, a jet flight away for now and forever. You are an important, loved, and cherished member of the Linscott tribe, as are all the members of your family, those among us and those we remember and carry in our hearts. Nora, I have been so very fortunate to have had you in my class year after year, from kinder through 8th grade. Thank you for giving me so many opportunities to smile and laugh, to stay young at heart by association, to watch you evolve into the incredible, now teenager that you have become. Dream big, travel far, enjoy life to the fullest. Never lose your feistiness. I am proud of you. I love you. I will miss you. Rolling Thunder. Joel. Joel, let me start by saying that you are a really nice person. I mean it. Everyone likes you. And why not? You treat everyone with genuine kindness and respect. You are honest in all your comments, questions, and actions. In fact, if I was pressed to describe you in one word, I would choose the word sincere. And how does the dictionary define the word sincere? I'm glad you asked. Like this: free from pretense or deceit, proceeding from genuine feelings, heartfelt, wholehearted, profound, deep from the heart, genuine, real, unfeigned, unaffected, true, honest, bona fide, earnest, truthful, unhypocritical, unhypocritical. Say that 5 times fast. Go. Meaning what one says. Straightforward. So, okay, that's a lot more than one word, but it's the same sentiment, and it is all true. Joel, there will in high school and out beyond in the wide, wide world exist people who may wish to see you lose your sincerity, your open and honest way. I hope you never succumb to those pressures, as the path you walk is a righteous one, and you will never have to look over your shoulder to try to remember what you told one person and the different thing you told another, because you will always say the same thing to everyone, the truth. You have asked me lots of questions over the years, and you always had the same reason for asking. You seek knowledge, pure and simple. Knowledge regarding how and why, and what is the best way to train, or perform, or achieve. Knowledge regarding how a person is feeling, if they are all right, if they need anything. Knowledge regarding how you can be of maximum service. There was a time I was presenting at several state universities in China at the undergraduate level. My topic of presentation was moral and ethical dilemma. I would have liked to have had you along as a shining example of virtue through logic and reason. I've really enjoyed you and your family at Linscott. I got to have your brother as my student as well. I will miss you and your open engagement towards life. I appreciate your unabashed awe and wonder. I would be remiss if I did not at least mention your consistent hard work and dedication towards improving your overall physicality, speed, strength, agility, and skills regarding physical education. Aim high, like quantum physics high, or higher, or perhaps the law. I'm thinking Supreme Court Justice. Giavonna. Gee, I'm going to miss you. Graduating from Linscott is an important rite of passage. It is a step along the path that leads out of childhood towards adulthood. There will be more rights and responsibilities to celebrate on this path, and celebrate you will. Gee, you are a powerful person, perhaps much more powerful than you are aware. You are intelligent, and you have had opportunity to have perhaps a broader life lens than many of your peers. Some kids grow up a little faster than others, sometimes just because they have older siblings, or simply through life experiences. There is nothing wrong with that. I grew up pretty fast in some ways myself, and yet some things have taken me a lifetime to get a handle on. Anyway, my point is, it's okay to let your childhood drag on a bit. It's okay to step on the brakes now and then and be a kid, because you're going to get where you're going eventually. So I'm hoping you savor the journey. I'm grateful you have been here at Linscott and that you got to have this experience as a kid. You have graduated, and that rite of passage is to be celebrated. I hope that your high school experience is a 4-year celebration. I want you to have fun in high school, go to the dances, join the clubs, do sports, run for student council, or be a cheerleader, or get up on stage in the drama department. There's FFA and cadets and all kinds of clubs. I know of former Linscott kids that started clubs in high school that had never existed before. High school is full of things that seem corny or lame, but it turns out if you join in and stay a part of, you end up having really great experiences, creating wonderful memories. Gee, it's tough to trust that someone my age, which I'm sure seems ancient to you, might know what they're talking about. And yes, we all have to experience life in our own way and pace, and even make our own mistakes. But here's a secret. We can learn from other people's experiences as well. So enjoy being a kid. You're going to be an adult a whole lot longer than you get to be a kid. So make it count. I love you. I will miss you. Gisele, grow up. I'm just kidding, kid. That was my attempt at twin humor. Sorry. Gisele, from what I can tell, you get along well with everyone. You are often pretty quiet no matter what is going on, but I believe that you have learned to be calm even in a storm. This is a great skill. When those around you are reacting with high drama and you are able to remain calm, you become the most powerful person in the whole scenario. I see you this way, calm, cool, and collected. You are also a very playful person, as well as kind and caring towards others. I appreciate you, Gisele, in that you are conservative and kind with your words. What I mean is that you don't feel the need to talk all the time, but when you have something to say, you say what you mean. But you are, in my experience, never mean with what you say. I know that your friends and your family are very important to you, and that you care deeply about others, and you are a naturally loyal person. I'm very pleased to have been your teacher all these years. I love you, and I will miss you. Take Lynn Scott with you in your heart, and enjoy everything you can in high school. Sugar Cookie, Vivienne. Okay, where to start with this one? Well, first off, I think you get full credit for differentiating. What does differentiation mean? I'm glad you asked. Differentiation involves developing our own values, ideals, and beliefs rather than automatically accepting the beliefs of those around us or those of our peers, striving to lead a life of integrity according to our own ideals in spite of social pressures to conform to the standards of others, resisting influences and formulating goals that give personal meaning to one's life. Right? Nailed it. Am I right? Vivienne, I love you. We've bumped heads so many times we both should be wearing helmets. I don't love you any less for that. Do you know every time that we didn't see eye to eye, you wrote me a long letter that was always an explanation wrapped in an apology? And you know what? Every one of those explanations made sense. And every one of those apologies was sincere. I love you, Vivienne. You have your own style. It just comes with the territory. Oh, I'm sorry, I misread that. You have your own style. You have big feelings. You know what? Lots of kids have big feelings because they are kids. It just comes with the territory. It is age appropriate and all of that. But you, Vivienne, have reasons for your feelings. I never know what those reasons are until after the fact, but you have them and they make sense after you express your logical self. And then I'm wrong and apologizing, and then, well, that's just how it is with you and me. We go along in life, bumping heads, clearing the air, getting back on track, getting off track, and bumping heads. I love you, Vivienne. You have reasons and logic. What if I told you that I was raised by a Stoic who taught me from the time I was a little boy that virtue, the highest good, is based on knowledge, that the wise live in harmony with nature through reason and logic. So there you go, Vivienne. You live by the very philosophy I was raised with. It just took me a while to see that. That makes me pretty proud of you. I love you. I'll miss you. Paulina. Paulina, you are a good sport. I've teased you a lot over the years, and you have always rolled with it and met me with a smile or a feisty comeback. I've always enjoyed that about you. One thing that really bugs me, though, is that you are so loud all the time. Just kidding. You're not loud. You've never been loud. I don't believe you've been loud one moment in your life. But hey, there's nothing wrong with that. Being quiet allows a person to observe and analyze and see beyond the noise and distractions in life. Excuse me. It makes a person deep and introspective, which means a person who examines their own thoughts and feelings. that they reflect on their life, actions, behavior, and ideals. These are all good qualities, and the world could benefit by more of this. You are also strong and courageous and willing to take risks. I know this because as your teacher, I've often given you the suggestion to take a risk. Let me pause for a moment and define the word suggestion. The dictionary defines the word suggestion as a subtle command. So, on occasion, I have issued to you a subtle command to take a risk, such as cross the line into enemy territory, evade the enemy, retrieve the enemy's ball, and spike it into your free zone. You have complied, taken these risks, and sometimes failed and sometimes triumphed. To me, taking the risk is actually the reward. So in that sense, you have been 100% successful. Another subtle command I have issued to you on occasion is climb the rope. Again, you have complied, taken the risk, risen to the occasion both literally and figuratively, and achieved success in every sense of the word. You are quiet. This in no way negates the fact that you are able to be brave and that you can summon your courage immediately and effectively. This is an extraordinary talent. A talent you have perfected. You, Paulina, are brave enough and courageous enough to face each and every fear or scenario that comes your way. You are. I have witnessed this over and over again. Anyway, I just wanted you to know that I know who you are. I love you, and I will miss you. Cowgirl! Brianna. Oh, cowgirl, you are a character. I love everything about you, from your tall girl, horseback riding confidence, to your call it like you see it attitude. You are tall and loud and cocky and confident. You are hilariously funny with your wit and social commentary. I've gotten to know you really well as I've had the opportunity to see you in so many roles, from star athlete to injured player, from coach to referee to coat rack. You have performed each role with enthusiasm and aplomb. The dictionary defines aplomb as self-confidence or assurance, especially when in a demanding situation. You are a stellar athlete, and I know that you have often been sidelined due to injuries. My hope is that you will grow out of these physical anomalies. Cowgirl, you are frank. Thank you for asking. I looked that up as well. And the definition of frank is open, honest, and direct, unreserved in speech or writing, especially when dealing with unpalatable matters. I think that definition calls for the examination of the word unreserved, don't you? Full, entire, without restriction. So yes, that hits the nail on the head. Basically, Brianna, you call it like you see it, boldly, without reservation or fear of retribution, honestly, sincerely, open for all the world to see and hear. I will add, with great accuracy. Brianna, I have to make mention of your most wonderful family. I have had the pleasure of getting both of your sisters in my PE class. Very fun. I've been the recipient of your beautiful mother's generosity many times, as she has gifted me with enameled Watsonville City pins, which I both covet and display proudly. And I have had many enjoyable encounters with your father, ranging from a wave from the truck pretty much every morning to frank discussions about you and your sisters in the hallway at Linscott. You are very fortunate to be a member of your loving family, and I have been very fortunate to have you in my life. I'm proud of you, I love you, and I will miss you. Audrey. Audrey, you are an awesome kid. Something about you reminds me of times gone by, of kids from my childhood, a time when kids were never supervised outdoors by adults. You just have that air about you, a confidence that comes from solving your own problems, from figuring things out, from not letting yourself get bored. Audrey, you are the kind of kid that if I gave you a pocket knife and parachuted you into the Amazon rainforest, you would probably be able to get yourself home by dinner, and you would bring home a bunch of new friends and the fish that you caught. You have an overwhelming confidence, yet you are sensitive, with enormous feelings, great empathy, loyalty, and compassion. I've never tired of hearing you rally the troops, encouraging your teammates, leading them to victory, or occasionally finding yourself on the losing team, only to show a magnificent sense of sportsmanship, congratulating the winners with your head held high, a smile on your face, ready for the next challenge. You, like so many of your classmates, know the thrill of being a warrior athlete, giving your best efforts with duty and honor, grace and dignity, blood and guts, sweat and sacrifice. I admire you, I love you, and I will miss you. Jonah. Well, Jonah, it's been great to know you and have you here at Linscott. You have always been a hard charger when it comes to PE. I've never had to worry about motivating you or trying to get you to be active. You are always active. You are extremely athletic, and man, you really got tall over the last few years. A bit on the quiet side, you and I have not sat down together for days on end discussing philosophy or solving the problems of the world. No, in fact, you and I haven't had a lot of conversations at all. You're pretty quiet. But none of that means I don't know you. I do. I know that you are actually quite kind and funny and smart, as well as creative. Of course, being that I mostly interact with you in PE, I know that you have a very high degree of physical intelligence and that you can move with great velocity and agility. You are also strong and skilled. I know you run with the pack, always ready to take a risk on the field, to take that extra step to catch the football, to stretch yourself past the goal line, to sacrifice your body and take the pain for the win. You are a warrior athlete, and you enjoy that role. Honestly, Jonah, that is what I always notice and know about you, is that you enjoy your physicality. You spend a lot of time in the air, pirouetting, spinning, leaping, dodging, evading, as well as hunting down and capturing, pulling flags and disabling your opponents. I see the thrill in you, the warrior, the athlete, the competitor, the kid that plays hard for the pure joy of experiencing the action. I love this about you, Jonah. Keep playing hard. Keep enjoying it now and always. I will miss you. Eliana. Eliana, if this were not a pre-recorded speech, I would yield my time to you, put you on the spot, and ask you to sing. I believe you would summon the courage and accept the challenge. For those of you who are not aware, this child has the voice of an angel. Eliana, I have not heard you sing lately. It is my hope that you never stop sharing your beautiful voice with the world. It is a gift meant to be shared, and if you got it out there, people all over the world would be instant fans. It has been pretty wonderful to have you as my student, not the first in your family to attend and be part of Linscott. Eliana, you are a blend of nervous shyness and exuberant outburst. You float from raucous risk-taker to silent observer. I never know who is going to show up on what day, but that's okay. I'm not sure you know who is going to show up either, and that's okay as well. Regardless, you are consistently kind and caring, deep and thoughtful, a loyal friend, a somewhat mischievous counterpart to Vivienne, two peas in a pod, two rascals in class. I will miss you, Swamp Muffin. Keep singing. Clone Wars, Mason. I've known you your whole life, and while I've watched you grow and mature each year after the next, this last year I have watched you become a young man taking charge of your physicality, working harder than ever, and recognizing and utilizing the principles of risk and reward, effort and results, fortitude and perseverance. It is a PE teacher's payday when you see the lights come on in a kid's eyes, when they challenge themselves over and over, getting up after each failure, and finally triumphing over the obstacle that is now an asset. Evidence that, yes, I can do it. I have seen this in you, Mason, especially since we have had access to the Tower of Power, where you have challenged yourself on every obstacle, from monkey bars to the ropes, from the jump box to the rings. from the suspension trainers to the battle ropes. You have not surrendered, nor do I expect you to, ever. But Mason, not only have I witnessed you attempt all these things, I have also seen you find joy and success in the battles on the field in games of two-way, football, pit tag, and every other chase and evade high-level competitive game we play. You have experienced a quantum leap in confidence and ability, and it has all come from your willingness and actions, taking risks, making attempts regardless of potential failures, rising up again and again to taste sweet success. I am so very proud of you, Mason, and I will miss being able to witness the successes you will most certainly experience in the future. You are what a PE teacher is all about. Star-Lord, Aubrey. I once told you that you are the strongest person I know. That has not changed. I don't think I'd be wrong in saying that you and I have had a lot of fun making up ridiculous yet entertaining, imaginative scenarios and stories that spin out into random silliness while walking to and from the high school for PE. I love how you get all my pop culture references from the past, but I admit you have had to explain most of yours as they are outside of my experience. You are such fun, and you are such a fun and creative person with an indomitable spirit. I'm really going to miss talking story with you and laughing out loud with you about your universe and all that you command. I've also enjoyed you in class. Not only are you strong in every way, you have become fearless, drawing upon your inner strength. Always know that you are more than enough, that you were born to be the best version of yourself, and that you get to decide exactly who that is. You are extraordinary. You are Star-Lord. I love you, and I will miss you. The universe is yours to imagine. Make it fantastic. Mia, so I'm going to go public on you. You know that throughout your time here at Linscott, I've taken you aside after class or on the walk to and from the high school, on the blacktop or in the hall, and I have expressed my thoughts to you regarding your presence at Linscott. Allow me at this time to make those privately shared sentiments part of the public record. Simply put, Mia, you are a delight. I love you, and I love having you in class, and that you and your family have been and are a beautiful part of our awesome Linscott family. You, Mia, are a walking smile. Just knowing you are at school and that you would be in class enjoying yourself and bringing your best efforts every day lifted me up time and time again. You have the most incredibly genuine and joyful smile. When you smile, your whole face, your eyes, your whole being smiles. You even go up on your toes a little bit and get taller when you smile. And I would bet my paycheck that there has never been a person who was able to not smile while experiencing yours. You are joyful, you are boisterous, which means marked by or expressive of exuberance and high spirits. You are vibrant, which means pulsating with life. You, Mia, pulsate with life. I will miss seeing you each day. My life will be a little less bright without you, but I will be content knowing you are brightening up the lives of others. I miss you. I love you. Long John Silva. Trey, you are a great kid. I've watched you grow up here at Linscott. When you were little, well, tall but much younger, your extra large feelings would come bubbling out. As you have gotten older, taller still, you have channeled those feelings into physical development, good sportsmanship, leadership skills, a healthy, competitive attitude, big dreams, and goals. You are a fine example of someone who has made the choice to work hard for what you want, to embrace the ideal of you get out what you put in. I really appreciate your work ethic, Trey, and your brotherly love towards your classmates and, of course, towards your sister. But my observations during PE revolve around the fact that you encourage your classmates to strive to do better, to work through and beyond limitations, to hone their skills, and to do the right thing. I know that you train hard at school, and you practice and train hard after school. It is always a wonderful thing to see the lights come on for a kid when they make the connections between hard work and physical fitness, to realize their body responds to practice, to get the risk-reward equation. For generations, the word failure has been a poisonous, dirty word. But that definition keeps a lot of kids, and adults for that matter, from trying anything new or difficult. I know that you get success comes from repeated attempts, risking failure over and over. In fact, failing at many repeated attempts in order to unlock that seemingly mysterious formula for pulling a ball or throwing an effective changeup or stealing 100 bases in a season. Talk about taking risks. Talk about risking failure. I know you get what I'm talking about when I tell you kids over and over again to take risks. Trey, it has been a real pleasure being your PE teacher. You are a great kid. I will miss you. I know you will continue to carry yourself well. Ellie Vader. Ellie. Ellie, I'm so very pleased that I get to include you in this speech and that you stayed at Linscott for the duration. I know there was a time when finishing middle school somewhere else was under consideration by you and your family. Truthfully, I would have been a bit heartbroken had you left. I hope you are as happy as I am that you did stay. Ellie, I have always enjoyed your sense of humor, especially at times when something dawns on you and you give a public display of surprise followed by your laughter. I also admire your willingness to take risks and embrace change, cool haircut by the way, as well as your participation and vocalization during moments when almost every other student might stand silent, awaiting a cue from you. I think at times you might have found the world around you, no matter how big or how small, not fair or friendly or very inviting. That is true for many of us at some or various points in our lives. I don't say that to diminish its importance, just that I've felt that way too. I want you to know that I love you, that I admire you, and that I care about you, and that although your time at Linscott has now come to an end, none of the friendships that you have made here have to end. None of them. I will always think of you and your family as valued members of the Linscott community, the Linscott family. And when I think of Ellie Vader, I think of a happy, confident, intelligent, kind, caring kid with big feelings and an overwhelming sense of compassion, commitment, duty, and responsibility to friends and family and the world at large. I will miss you very much. Adina. Adina, where do I begin? Well, like any good story, at the beginning. Adina, I met your mother perhaps a year before I met you. We met in a knitting circle. Yes, I knit. Your mother was among the many ladies in the knitting circle who taught me to knit, and yes, I was the only dude there. Anyway, after a year of knitting and the passing of summer and returning to teach physical education yet another year, I saw your mother walking across the blacktop, and you were not far from her. We were introduced, and you and your family became members of the Linscott family. So first, I'm just going to say to you, your mom is really cool. And Adina, you are really cool too. Adina, you are so very interesting. I know PE is not your favorite thing to participate in, and that's okay. But you have participated in your own way and pace. I'm pretty sure you would rather be reading than running. I'm okay with that. I've enjoyed your synopsis of the books you've been reading. I believe you average about one book a week, which is quite admirable. Reading is one of my all-time favorite things to do. It is, in my opinion, one of the greatest things a person can do for themselves, and it is certainly one of the only ways to further one's education after high school and college. Adina, we both know you skip to your own beat. Your sense of humor is wry, and your countenance unique and unapologetic. How strong you are to be true to yourself no matter what the situation. I can think of many times I have told you a joke, and sometimes they would land and I'd get the satisfaction of your knowing smile. Even better, though, is your understanding of the required reciprocity when one is the recipient of a joke. Without fail, you have always come back with a quip, a jest, a pun, or witticism that put a smile on my face or induced the kind of laugh that carried me throughout the day. Adina, you are wonderful. You are wise, funny, engaging, intelligent, brave, interesting, and so very enjoyable to have conversations with. I will miss our talks, your timely, funny, and well thought out reposts, your presence on the bench with the book of the week. I will miss seeing you skip down the football field while every other student runs. I love you. I will miss you. Gunslinger, the man in black, Joseph T. Joseph, as you know, I take making you smile as a daily personal challenge. You are what we call a man of few words. There is nothing wrong with that. In all the years I've known you, I don't think I have heard you say more than 10 words. Okay, that's an exaggeration. Probably more like 5 or 6. I do see you smile, though, in your quiet way, and yes, I've gotten you to laugh pretty often. You are secure in yourself, your style, your way, and pace. You are extremely likable, and I know that your classmates and friends all love you and find you to be intriguing and an interesting young man. All good things. You are the man in black. Again, as I've mentioned, as a physical education teacher, I'm always analyzing how people move. And you, Joseph, have a classic mode of locomotion. It is the reason I call you Gunslinger. You walk with the confidence of a man out of the Wild West, or a highly trained CIA operative, or perhaps a member of MI6. I've always had this expectation that one day you will just turn to me and say, "The world is not enough," or "Tomorrow never dies," or maybe "Never say never again." With every step, your movements say to the world, "That's right, I know who I am. My name is Tadeo, Joseph Tadeo." I will miss our one-sided conversations, watching you on the field of battle and seeing the man in black amble down the sidewalk with his confidence, gunslinger gait. Quiet, cool. Stay true to yourself, Tadeo, Joseph, Tadeo. I know you will. GQ, Isaac. GQ, you are quite the stylish and charming young man. Besides your flair for all things fashionable, you are incredibly fit and formidably strong. You are also really quite funny and entertaining. While I've never had to push you to participate in PE, you always play hard. I really admired you this last year since we have had the Tower of Power, in that you have attempted many feats of strength and you have had much success. I believe that you are the only kid so far to successfully perform a muscle-up. I've challenged you to do one-arm push-ups, clap push-ups, diamond V push-ups, and even clap behind your back push-ups. You have done them all with varying degrees of success, but you do not shy away from the challenge. You also can climb the rope, without using your feet, which I oftenly mistakenly call hands-free. I don't know why I do that, but it gets everyone's attention every time. You have made progress climbing the rope in an L-sit V from all the way at the bottom of the rope. Outstanding. Okay, I need to mention all of those things, and you should be proud of these accomplishments. I am. But I also want to say that you are just an incredibly likable kid. You can be confident, silly, goofy, and of course you have a serious, seldom seen side. Isaac, you are a great kid. I'm really going to miss you. I want you to be successful in high school and of course beyond. I want you to have a big and wonderful life. Stay on track. Try to remember that your teachers want the very best for you. Your teachers want the very best for you. We love and care about you, and guess what? The teachers and coaches in this next phase of your life, high school, want this for you too. Man, I wish I had realized that when I was a kid, but it was military school in Texas for me. I just couldn't stop myself from being a rebel without a clue. I've loved having you as my student, Isaac. Take care of business, kid. Aim high. Larissa, I want you to know I am very proud of you. You have such a great sense of direction. You are an accomplished martial artist, and I know that you plan to join the police cadet program here in Watsonville. By the way, if you need a letter of recommendation, I am happy to provide you with that. Larissa, you are a deep and caring person, and I feel I can always count on you, and I know your friends and family feel this way as well. I've watched you grow up into an accomplished and confident athlete. I have a really lovely memory of you that has translated into an important teaching tool that I use in my classes, as well as when I'm off presenting at conferences. You were trying very hard to jump up on the highest level of the jump box with 2 feet at once. You were afraid. You didn't think you could do it, but you kept making attempt after attempt. You never quit. You never stopped. You'd jump, fail, start to jump, not jump, jump with 1 foot, jump, fail, over and over and over. I could see that you were scared, but I could also tell you weren't going to let the box beat you. And then you walked up to the box, planted both feet, pushed off the ground, flew into the air, and landed squarely, both feet at the same time, on the top of the platform. Perfect. Success. You changed in that moment. I saw it. I saw it that day, but I also saw it in every challenge you had after that day. Your confidence went through the roof. I don't know if you remember what you did after celebrating that victory for a few moments, but I do. You ran straight over to the tractor tires and started jumping right on up to the highest one. A great memory for me, and as I've said, I've used this challenge hundreds of times since then, other than climbing the rope and ringing the cowbell at the top. This is perhaps the single best confidence booster for kids I know of. Thank you, Larissa. You gave me that gift. I love you. I will miss you. Joseph, Broseph, Yo-Yo, Joseph. It has been good to have you here at Linscott. You and your family are a welcome addition to the Linscott community. Joseph, you've got some big feelings and some sharp corners. Me too. But I think a quote from Dave Chappelle, well, originally from Dave Chappelle's mother, might apply to you. Sometimes you gotta be a lion so you can be the lamb you really are. Perhaps that means that sometimes you've got to be hard on the outside to protect your own innocence and kindness. Or perhaps that sometimes you have to fight for the right to be who you are. I relate to this quote. Perhaps you do too. You have a magnificent and giant heart, Joseph. We, you and I, haven't always understood each other in every situation. I've often misinterpreted what you were communicating. I'm sorry for that. It is ironic because I too am often misunderstood. That is no one's fault. It just is what it is. People hear what they want to hear. No one is immune from that. So, Joseph, this part of my speech may be a bit late in coming, but it is my best attempt to make myself clear to you. So take a breath and listen. You are a good kid. You are funny and entertaining. You are a loving and protective big brother. You are interesting and unique. You are an outstanding athlete. You are a valued member of the Linscott community. I love you. Just as important, I like you. I like who you are with any and all your sharp edges and with all your big feelings. And Joseph, I get that sometimes you've got to be the lion to be the lamb you really are. I'm better off from knowing you. I'm a better teacher than I was before you became my student. I will miss you, Joseph. Emoji! Michaela. One of the hardest parts about this remote pre-recorded speech is that I can't see your face while I'm giving it. Regardless, I'm 99% sure that you, emoji, are, at this moment, smiling. You have this incredible gift. All you have to do is be yourself, and the people around you become happy. You have an absolutely contagious smile. But it isn't just the fact that your smile is perhaps the most magnificent smile. It is that your smile is an outward, thank you, manifestation of your beautiful, fun-loving, kind, and playful spirit. You shine, and you bring out the best in others. I also know that you are a loyal and wonderful friend. You know I will miss your participation in the ridiculous scenarios and far-out worlds and storylines that you and Star-Lord and I have created while walking to and from the high school. You have helped to fill each morning with laughter and joy and fueled my imagination, giving me ideas for modifying old games and creating new ones. Emoji, I appreciate your humor, your grace, your fun and bubbly spirit, and I will miss your presence. Be true to your joy. It is your nature. Twitch, Adrian. Twitch, it's been a lot of fun for me having you as a student. You seem to me to be very much a happy-go-lucky kid. You don't let circumstances or situations determine your mood or happiness. You appear to either choose happiness as a way of being, or you naturally default to happy. Either way, it is both an admirable trait as well as somewhat contagious. You have a varied and extensive skill set in the arena of athleticism. Natural agility, the will to win, a flair for strategy, endurance, as well as speed, a taker of risks, one who laughs in the face of danger, one who fears no opponent. So many opponents left on the field to wonder how you got past them, a trail of broken ankles. But not only can you evade with a near-perfect effectiveness, you can also capture, as evidenced by the number of flags strewn across Geyser Field like so much litter. Twitch, you are a force. I will always be grateful for having you in class, Twitch. Some kids bring their own momentum that translates to the team they are on, the game they are involved with, the class they are in. You are one of those kids, and I appreciate you, and I thank you. I will miss you as I miss your older brother, the fridge. Well, that brings me to the end of the 2020 Linscott commencement speech. Thank you for the honor and privilege to have been your teacher or your kid's teacher, depending. Likewise, to deliver this speech. Congratulations. I like that word. How about congratulations, Linscott graduates of 2020.